Hey everyone, this is a little video series I'm going to try to do where I'm going to carry a knife for a week and then I'll give my thoughts on it as an EDC knife based on my experiences with it through the week. And this week I carried the Spyderco Delica, and I'm going to kind of rank these knives on 5 different categories. 1 being performance, 2 carrying, 3 action, 4 quality, and 5 design. So let's get started on this one with performance. The handles on this knife are very comfortable. They are very grippy. They're comfortable in many different grips, like just your regular forward grip. A reverse grip feels pretty good. You can pinch up on the blade like this. That's how I found myself using it a lot. You can put your finger down here for a more precise cut, or you can pinch up on the blade like this. I mean, it just feels like it works in most grips. It's got a very large and steep thumb ramp, and it feels really good, like very secure. Like I'm pushing up with my thumb on it, and it's just not moving. So the thumb ramp feels very good, like just very natural to hold. And when you're gripping the knife, you don't even really notice the pocket clip. At least for my hands, like I don't really notice the pocket clip while I'm holding it. I can just barely feel it. If I don't think about it, then it's not even really there. Um, the blade is very thin, thinner than most knives, especially towards the tip. So this knife slices very well. It'll go through most anything with ease. It'll cut through cardboard very easily. Cut through plastic straps. I mean, it's just a great slicer, a great cutter. And the tip of the knife, you can see it kind of comes down. You can see it kind of comes down to almost like a sheep's foot or Warncliffe shape. And I really appreciate that because it's like, it points downwards for more precise cuts. Makes it easier to get in there for those kinds of cuts. I always like to see that kind of shape on the tip of a knife. I find it very useful. And the second category that we're going to look at is carrying. This knife pretty much just disappears in the pocket. You barely notice it when you're carrying it. It goes in the pocket very easily. This texturing, it'll kind of going into the pocket, it'll just glide over it. But coming out of the pocket, it might snag on your pants a little bit, but it's not gonna do that much damage. Maybe over a long period of time, if you wear the same pants every single day or something, then you might see a little bit of damage, but it's really not going to do much. And the way they put the logo under the pocket clip, where the clip meets the scales, I mean, so that it's smoother. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have anything to worry about as far as damage to your pants. And when it's in the pocket, it just like sits off to the side. Like there's this hump that you might think might get in the way, but it sits off to the side and kind of pushes like out of the way, and like, you don't even feel it. You don't even know it's there, and it ends up sitting mostly straight up and down in your pocket, so it stays out of the way for the most part. It's very light. It's a lightweight knife, so it's not going to be heavy in your pocket or anything. It's not like you're barely going to notice it, and it really does, like when it's clipped in your pocket, it really does stay put. But there's one concern that I'll get back to in a minute about that. But it's like I don't really have problems with it. Like with some knives, if the scales are a little smoother, sometimes they might slide up in your pocket and you have to push them back down. But yeah. Third, we'll move on to action. It's very easy to open, like deliberately, more slowly and deliberately. Or if you take a little time to learn how to flick one of these knives open, it opens quick. You can open it quickly with one hand too. Like you can open it with one hand if you want to, or two hands, of course. and along with opening very easily with one hand, it'll also close very easily with one hand. So you can press the lock and you can hold your finger up here towards the front of the blade or the back of the blade, and you press the lock and it'll just kind of drop and hit against your finger, and then you can just close it the rest of the way like that. It closes very easily with one hand, and if you want to, you can easily, of course, close it with two hands. And one more way to close it would be if you put your finger here on the hole. If you don't want to, drop it against your finger, you can put your finger here on the hole and your thumb on the lock. Press the lock and bring your finger down a little bit just to get it out of the way of the lock, and then close it the rest of the way like that. And thanks to that cutout on the lock, it's very effortless to find that lock, and there it is, and then you can just press it, and you don't even have to look. You just do it without looking. It's very, very easy to operate. All right. Fourth, we're going to look at quality. The knife overall feels very solid. Of course, it's plastic, but it's very strong plastic. I just get a slight bit of movement in there, and it has some liners on the inside to strengthen it up a little bit more. But it feels very solid. The lock is very solid, and with this lock, you're never gonna not get a lock up with it. I mean, once you hear that click, it's locked up and it's gonna stay locked up. I've never had a problem. I've never even thought about having a problem with this lock and its reliability. It's just every time it'll lock up once you hear that click. Blade play, I don't get any blade play this side to side or zero up and down. The pocket clip, I mean, I can lift it up, which isn't a problem. But it's strong. I can tell it's strong, and the way that it's built, or the way that it's cut out, you see it's kind of wider here towards the base where it meets the scales. That's gonna make it harder for it to bend up like some pocket clips will end up doing. So the pocket clip is very strong. I don't think you have anything to worry about with that. The only thing that I do kind of worry about with the pocket clip is that this bill here at the end is kind of wide, so it has a chance of if you're wearing a jacket or something, you pull the jacket up for whatever reason, it could possibly hang and pull it up since it's a little bit wider and a little bit it's pretty proud of the scales. So it's possible it could pull up on it. I believe it has happened to me once on my other Delica, but not on this one when I was carrying it through the week. So that's one kind of a nitpick that I have with it. And another small problem, I guess you can call it a nitpick, is that some of the edges on the knife, especially around the opening hole, I don't know if you'll be able to, you can't really tell on camera, but they're pretty sharp. So when you open it like this, especially, you might feel it just barely cutting into your thumb. It's never cut me, but it is pretty sharp. It's something to note, I think. And I noticed it on my other Delica too. It's the same way. So, but I mean, you could easily get a file or something else and kind of deburr those edges a little bit. But yeah, I think it's something to note that those edges are a little bit sharp, and they do kind of dig into your finger a little bit when you open it up. All right, lastly, we're going to talk about overall design and what I like about the design, because I think that a lot of thought went into the design of this knife. So even just starting with the handle shape, the way that it's shaped, it's hard for me to explain it, but your hand just kind of melts into it and you don't even, it's just thoughtless. It's very, very easy to hold. Feels very natural to hold. And along with that, there's this texturing. Spyderco calls it the bi-directional texturing, I think. So you got those little kind of bumps or edges that give you more grip this way and more grip that way. So, I mean, it's a very grippy handle. It's hard to move it once you're in your hand. Like, you don't really have much chance of slipping on this knife. Um, there's jimping in just the right areas, like right here where you would want your thumb to maybe not slide as much. I mean, it's not as strong as like metal jimping, but right there on the thumb ramp, like your finger ain't going anywhere. And then with the design of the clip, like when you go to reach for your knife, your finger just falls right into that little groove right there, and it just pulls right out, and you just pull against that hill right there, and it's just so natural. It feels so natural to pull it out. And off of the clip as well, you have four spots that you can put the clip. You got on, if you're left hand and you wanted to carry tip up, got that, and same with tip down, and same with the right hand on tip down. So you could put it like however you want to carry this knife with your clip or no clip at all. You can do it. And also, I also appreciate that the lanyard hole is very out of the way, just right there in the middle of the clip. So it's just out of the way. You don't have to have this extra part on the end for the lanyard hole. It's right there out of the way, and you don't even notice it. Like if you don't think about it, you don't notice it. And then there's the fact that the pocket clip lands right on the logo, like I talked about earlier. So it just slides in and out of your pocket easy, but it's not going to fall out of your pocket, of course, but like it just makes it easier in and out of the pocket. It's not going to tear your pants like I talked about before. And then something I appreciated when I was using it, the butt end of this knife comes to a little bit of a point, and it kind of pokes out a little bit, at least the size of my hands. And one thing I found it useful for when opening a box that was closed with staples, sometimes it's hard to wrench them open with your hands. So you can take that butt end, you can hit one of the panels of one of the flaps of the box, and it'll usually break the staples loose or pull the staples out. So I found that a little useful to use that butt end. And then the placement of the lock bar is something else that I like too. Instead, like on the Buck 110, it's way back here, and you have to adjust your whole grip or turn the knife around and use your other hand. But on this knife, it's right there in the middle. You just bring your thumb back and just drop it closed like that. It feels so natural, and like I said earlier, that groove makes it so easy to find without looking. I mean, you can just hit it every time. So I want to kind of have a scoring system for these knives when I carry them through the week. I think I'm going to do it out of 5. 1 being bad, I wouldn't really carry it. 2 is okay, I'd carry it rarely. 3 is good, I'll carry it every now and then. 4 is great, I'll carry it regularly or put it in my rotation. And 5 is like EDC material. I could recommend this as an EDC knife. And if I wasn't like just obsessed with carrying all different knife like every other day or something, then I would seriously consider carrying it as an EDC knife. As for this one, I would definitely put it at 5 as EDC material. I mean, it just hits all the marks. Just only thing negatives that I can think about it are just nitpicks like the sharp edges on the opening hole, and the bill of the pocket clip may be catching on stuff and pulling it out of your pocket. But you can easily file that off, deburr it somehow, and I don't think it holds the knife back at all. Like, this is very, very good EDC material here, and I could recommend it to anyone who's looking for an EDC knife. In fact, if I ever want to buy someone a gift, a pocket knife as a gift, and something that I would want them to carry every day, or to have a knife that they would carry every day, I would probably choose this one. It's got a fair price. I think right now they're about $88. Pretty fair price for what you're getting. I mean, it's Spyderco, brand name, great quality. So yeah, I think I think it's EDC material for sure. Um, Let me know what you think about this idea for a little video series. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.